Before we dive into Amy's legacy today, I need to set our sacred space. Close your eyes with me for a moment, or just hold the energy while I bring spirit in. I call upon the divine light and infuse this session with wisdom and truth. As we dive into these cards, may the insight reveal bring understanding and clarity to the situation at hand and for all who is present and tuning in. Grant us your guidance and protection as we commence this reading. Allow every message to serve its highest purpose, and so it is. Okay, so we're going to look into Amy Winehouse, right? So we're going to do a deep dive on her early years, before the Beehive, before the Grammys, and before the world knew her name. Amy Winehouse was just a girl from North London with a guitar and a voice, an amazing voice, I would say. And that felt 100 years old. We are exploring her journey from her ninth-year-old theatre student to a 19-year-old industry street secret, and finally to the release of her masterpiece, Black and Black. We aren't just looking at the facts, we are asking the cards to show us the unseen energy behind it. Now, I'm going to do a part 1 and part 2. Okay, so it is her 20th year. So there's a celebration of her, I think it's her Black and Black album. But yeah, so this is for Amy. So, first card, her early roots. So the fact was, she attended theatre school. Like, I got spirit around whether that's Amy or not. I don't know. I did do a dowsing to ask if Amy was willing to work with me, and she said yes, but it could be just spirit. So we don't know. So we don't always know who we're talking to. I don't feel, but I definitely feel spirit around. So she attended the theatre schools like Susie Earnshallow and formed the rap duet Sweet and Sour at age 10, picking up the guitar at 13, the moment she found her true tool for songwriting. Right, so the tarot question we're going to ask is, what did the Sweet Sour era teach Amy about finding her own unique voice without a structured environment? So what did the Sweet and Sour era teach Amy about finding her own unique voice? What did it teach her? Actually, I think I'm going to do these first. So what did it teach her? Okay. Investing made with positive results that bring positive. So it taught her how to invest and how to engage. Tell me more on that. How did she find her own unique voice? Through the investment. So we've got the Nine of Swords, the Two of Wands, and the Eight of Swords. Now, the Nine of Swords says to me that's stress levels. So maybe she, it was a way of her, nothing to do with it. I don't feel it's necessarily to do with the Nine of Swords in a way of like anxiety. Well, I suppose she used her voice to help with her anxiety. We know that. Maybe that was the way she started to strengthen her voice, able to speak her voice here. Okay, it encouraged her to break out of her comfort zones a little bit. Okay, so it was a positive aspect of her to be able to maybe I don't know, but you know, maybe in the aspects of the Nine of Swords, it was like she was able to overcome, because you've got to have it's got to be strong in it. You've got to feel it from the gut. I'm not a singer, but I know you've got to feel it from the gut. So maybe she found the exercise as a way to be free without just having fun. And it kind of got her out of her comfort zone with the Eight of Wands. So it was like she able to project her voice. Two of Wands is suggesting that it gave her that creative style. By doing that, it was part of her parcel. Okay, so what was the hidden emotional world did the guitar unlock for Amy that she could not express with jazz alone? What hidden world did the guitar unlock for Amy? Yeah, what did it unlock? Ace of Cups. Oh, look. Oh, bless her. Bless her heart. Wow, okay. Ah. Wow. To me, it was almost like it unlocked that old soul that she had inside of her. Okay, so the Ace of Cups, it enlightened that emotion there. Ace of Cups is about emotional fulfillment or new beginnings, or like something that you love, or it could be like a new relationship. So it could have been a real new relationship with her. So the guitar helped with having a relationship with herself, where she could reach the depth of her soul. With the High Priestess, the Devil card is usually bringing up the shadow aspects of what was hidden inside of her, which she did state, didn't she, that she found her music as therapy to her, you know, that it was for her to be able to express herself. So this is coming up, you know, with the Devil card. So those, you know, it became a substitute of like her self-soothing herself, and bringing up an understanding of herself as well, and how in tune she was. But I feel like she was an old soul. I believe she was an old jazz singer, you know, so she reincarnated again, because of the High Priestess, of like how in tune she was with the music itself. So the guitar was like a filter, so to get her through how, you know, and how she could express it, express her music. Okay, so she loved her guitars with the Ace of Cups. It was a sense, it gave her a sense of peace and emotional fulfillment too. So it did unlock a lot there. So we're going to tell me more about the hidden emotional world with the guitar at 13. So 13, and she's got the High Priestess in her deck and the Devil card. So it was already indicating that strong essence already. And she was fully aware what it was bringing to the surface. Duality. Do not forget about the dual maturity of people. Don't lose your... So she was... It brought a maturity in her. It brought this maturity in her that I think stuck with her continuously. Okay, so it was just like, yeah, for a 13-year-old, that's just, I mean, that's just pretty amazing, really, that they were, because we're not taught really how to regulate and stuff. So she found the guitar as a way of regulating her emotions, you know? And she has said that, hasn't she? So this is just like confirming what has already been said. Okay, right. So we're looking into the industry secret, age 16 to 20. Okay. So the fact, being scouted at 16 and signing with 19 management in 2002, she was kept a recording injury secret, living on $250 a week while her professional identity was developed behind closed doors. What was the energetic toll of being hidden away as a secret? What am I doing here with my cards? Let's do this card first. What was the energetic toll of being hidden away as a secret? Right, okay. Let's have a look. Don't think she was bothered, but let's see what the tarot says. And then I'll look at it all together. What was the energetic toll of being hidden away as a secret where identity was being developed in the industry? Tower card. 4 of Wands. One thing I got, right, I wasn't really moving up. I knew I had to do the work. I knew I had to make the changes. It did piss me off sometimes. I did get frustrated with it, and I sometimes had these meltdowns of frustration, but I knew that the foundations were strong, and I was able to be free, freely express myself and enjoy it. So there was sometimes breakdowns here where it did take a bit of a toll on me, but the Fool card suggests to me that, you know, and the moving up, she knew she had to go through this cycle anyway. So she was fully aware of like that, yeah, it did knock me off. It did knock me off at times. And that, but I knew it was part of the process and the journey. And this, I feel like she felt very free in being able to express herself and just play around. So it was a good point, although, like I said, she did have breakdowns or frustrations with it. But like with the 4 of Wands in the middle, I see the foundations, strong, firm foundations. So it was leveling out. It was kind of balanced. It was kind of like one or the other, you know. She knew that this was a part of. So she was fully aware that this was probably the best bits of her career, in the sense of where she felt more free to express and explore. Here, so it give her that outlet here. Okay, Darcy Bees from Island Records heard her demo and wouldn't give up until he signed her. What unspoken quality in her voice acted as the magnet draw. Okay, so we're doing facts with so what unspoken quality in her voice acted as the magnet draw. Just her lyrics, her words, or her connection to, you know, I mean, come on. I mean, she was blunt as anything, wasn't she? She was direct and blunt and funny, you know, so she had that approach to the core. They seen her edge. She had an edge about her. Her, I mean, who can say? I mean, her voice was amazing, wasn't it? But that edge aspect of, she had that edge. They seen it straight away. It wasn't questionable. Once, you know, they got hooked on it. It wasn't just about her voice. It was about her lyrics, the way she moved, the way she expressed herself. Here, they seen something more deeper within this. Okay, she had an edge about her that they liked. It wasn't just someone being a jazz singer and using her voice. She had the sarcasm to go with it, but also had the intelligence with her lyrics and how she expressed herself. So there was no question that why they wouldn't have given her up, because they seen there was more depth to her, and they felt that she could escalate this more. Six of Wands is about popularity, fame. Well, not fame, but not necessarily, but you know, you've succeeded. There's success in your, you know, so there was success in her voice. Okay, this is something that they felt there was more to uncover with Amy, right? This is, you know, she was just starting out. The Seven of Wands is the defense, so she had an edge. I would say it was more like an edge to her. But her connection to her words and her understanding was very in tune too, hence why the feeding of an old soul. Okay, so we're going to look into Frank, right? So we're looking into Frank, the compromise of Frank. So the fact was, releasing her jazz-infused debut, Frank, in 2003, despite its success, Amy later said she was only 80% behind it due to label interference. I bet she wasn't happy with that, was she? Okay, so let's, because I quite like these cards with this. So beyond the music, what was the spiritual bonds between Amy and producer Samuel Remner that made her feel safe enough to be vulnerable? Money tree. Dreams come true. You will get what you want. You have long desired. Enjoy your wealth. She was never much for the money side of it, but maybe it was the sense of the security she felt with him that made her feel secure. The confidence maybe he had in her, it rubbed off on her. But let's see what the tarot says with that. He grounded her. Maybe he grounded her. Not in like you're grounded, but like grounded her, like, you know, in the sense of like his words inspired her that she could understand, you know. Interesting. Knight of Cups. She valued his friendship, and I think she did open up to him. I think she did open up with him with the Five of Cups. So she valued his friendship, his input, his gestures, especially when she felt lost or she wasn't sure. She listened to him, and they kind of found a way around the music as well. Especially when she got displacent or bored, I think he was able to inspire that and give her a bit more balance with the Temperance card there. So definitely he was a very good at grounding her on a level where she wasn't getting caught up in her insecurities and her emotions and stuff. So she thrived being around this gentleman. Okay. What part of the authentic self did Amy feel she leave out the Frank album to satisfy the label? Quite like these cards in there. Not sure on that one. Okay. She had to put something aside that she learned in her music. Okay, let's have a look. Okay. So we've got the King of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Three of Swords. What was the question again? Let me just relay the question again. What part of the authentic self did Amy feel she had to leave out of the Frank album to satisfy the label? She definitely felt challenged by it. There was some, I'm going to throw this out, there was some specific lyrics that she wanted to keep into the songs and they removed them. And I don't think they got how important that part was to her. Because it was a part of her journey when she was making that music. So I feel like there was some important lyrics, or maybe there was a specific song that cut to the core and they didn't want her to do that just yet. Because we got the Three of Swords here. You know, Ten of Pentacles is a strong stability. King of Cups is a male figure. There was a song, there was a raw song, allegedly. There was a raw song that she wanted to put on the Frank's album and they didn't want her to do it. They wanted to keep the album clean. Yeah, they wanted to keep it clean. They wanted to keep it upbeat. They wanted to keep it, you know. But there was one song she wanted to put that was important to her, but they refused. That's how I see it. But it's allegedly, it's not guaranteed, it's not, it's just not alleged. Okay. Because, I mean, she got her wish in the end, didn't she? She exploited the Black and Black album. So, we've gone through the Fraser Frank, so it was very fresh, very upbeat music, although to the core, and there was some harsh songs on there, and some heartwarming songs too. Your own way of expressing. So yeah, then we had the explosion of the Black and Black, which very hits the Three of Swords core aspect. So let's have a look. The fact, collabing with Mark Roston to create the 60s inspired wall of sound, this album turned her personal heartbreak to 5 Grammy Awards in 2008. It just seems like yesterday, doesn't it? It just feels like yesterday that this was all happening. It's just, I can't get my head around, like we're in 2006 now. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay. So what was the creative catalyst Mark Ronson provided that allowed Amy to turn her private pain into a global sound? Okay. Let's pull more cards on that. So what does that mean? They seen it for what it was, for definite. And obviously they seen big bucks too. So whoever this company was, they were like, yeah, money, look. it was almost like this was hers. This was her songs. This was hers. So although she made, because look, I got like, it was a win-win, so they were counting the coins, so their ching-chings when she sung the music. The Eight of Pentacles, that she'd grown so much, she built so much to do with her music as well. So she really expanded and grown. Eight of Pentacles is about building up, building your skills up. So she built her skills up here. Queen of Cups, she was nurturing. So this was a proud moment for Amy, The Nine of Pentacles as well says this, like this came how it was independent, very independent here. So I think she really engaged in this album. It meant so much to her. And this is where it secured her position as a singer and songwriter. It was a powerful album, So winning 5 Grammys, but being unable to attend in person, how did that energetically impact her ability to stay grounded? Let's put one of those cards out first. So winning the 5 Grammys but unable to attend in person, how did that energize? I don't think she'd have kept her 2 monkeys, to be honest, but that's my opinion. She cared. Yeah, she didn't care. I don't think she cared. She was where she wanted to be. It was still a gift that she didn't ever dream that she could have. She didn't, I don't think she cared. No, I don't think she cared. I think she was happy where she was. There is conflict, and the separation there, and the 5 of Wands, and the battles. But all in all, maybe at first there was disappointments there. But here states that she wasn't really, she was happy. She was happy where she was at. She had her family around her, didn't she? Yeah. It is what it is. That's what I got in my head. It is what it is. It was what it was. There was nothing I could really do about it. It's whatever, innit? Whatever. Something feels set up there as well. We've got the 7 of Swords. So something felt a bit set up. Like they've set her up there. That can represent the travel card. There was something false going on. It wasn't all what it was cracked up to be, by the way. That's how I feel. Yeah. I wasn't bothered. I was where I was meant to be. I appreciate where I'm meant to be. But there was some lies being told, and it wasn't the full truth. Or, there was something going off there that they want to engage in, which confused the public here. Yeah. So I think there was a bit of a setup around it. I don't know. Let me know what you think on that. But I'm getting like a sick feeling. Like I said, she wasn't bothered. So whether it was the case of like it affected her at first, and then I'm not bothered, but she felt it was like there was lies. There was something it wasn't the full truth. There was something not quite right there. Did Amy know this? Did Amy know this? Out of curiosity, did Amy know this? Yeah, she knew it. I mean, who was in she won the awards in that. I don't know, there's just something fishy going on in that bit that wasn't picked up on. It wasn't the full truth. That's it. That's weird. I feel that's really weird. All right. Okay. We'll leave it as that. But yeah, it wasn't the full facts. All a bunch of hypocrites. That's what I'm getting in my head. You're all a bunch of hypocrites. All right. Okay. Right. The sound vibe, old school beats, right? So education and apprenticeship of her craft. Jazz and soul, Dina Washington and Frank Sinatra. This was her bread and butter. Oh, her obsession of the runs of Ball's sound defined the black and back, the unexpected her roots of hip hop and soul. So let's have a look. The foundation was her jazz and soul with Dina Washington, right, which was her bread and butter. How was it like inspired her? How did this really inspire her? 10 of Cups. Oh, it just warmed the cockles of her heart. That's what I'm going to say. It just warmed the cockles of her heart. Okay? He gave her something to hold on to. It gave her some wisdom. She felt the wisdom that came out of the music. And it transformed. We've got 2 major arcana, so it had a real massive impact on the way Amy produced her music. Most definitely. I know people already know that, but I like to do the cards to find out, if it confirms. The 60s girl group, her obsession with the Rontills and the Wall of Sound, right? So tell me. So that was oh wow, she found the freedom in that, in the 60s group. She loved the freedom expression in that. She thought it was fun. Okay, 8 of Wands. It really inspired her to push forward in her music as well. 8 of Wands is like movement, so it edged her, it made her move. So the connections with the jazz. So we got the jazz that Kate created, inspired her song, and then we've got this inspired her movement towards her music too. Okay, it changed the dynamics. So she mixed quite a few on that, right? Okay. So her roots to hip hop, interestingly, I've been very drawn to hip. I'm not a hip hop person. I gotta be honest. I'm not, and I'm not a rap. Probably the most I like is Eminem, and some other old school, rap music. But I wouldn't say that I'm a lover of it. But I did like salt and pepper. I gotta be honest. I did like a bit of salt and pepper. Back in the day, her roots in hip hop, salt and pepper, and her love for reggae, ska rhythms. Okay, so how did that inspire her with her music? How did that inspire her with her music? Sun. It exposed something inside of her. So all these had a purpose where she could build on and make her own unique style here with the Magician card. Yeah, again, it gave her clarity. So they all served a purpose in Amy's legacy. It also, and I feel like I got to pull another one, the Nine of Pentacles. Look at that. Nine of Pentacles comes to the end of the reading. This governs, it brought everything together for her. So she really navigated this music to create her own style, her own personal style. And it's, such an edge to her music. I absolutely love her music. So now we're so that I enjoyed the reading. I hope you did too. Okay. So before I'm saying my prayers to close down the reading, I'm gonna just do some facts, right? And show the playful perfectionist lioness she really was. So here are some facts. Flags. Talk, can I? Right. Did you know before the Grammys, Amy dreamed was to be a roller skating waitress? She was inspired by the movie American Drift Graffiti. She always had the vintage soul, even in her career goals. The taxi tech. She was a true perfectionist to make her music sound right for the real world. She'll burn her CDs and test them out in her dad's taxi. If it didn't sound right in the cab, it was finished. Oh, bless her. The Sweet Soul Duet. At just 10 years old, she had a rap group called Sweet and Sour. And of course, in her own words, she was the sour one. That raw honesty started early. Despite being a global star, she never wanted the A-list scene. She didn't she? She said that quite a lot. She'd much rather be at her local pub in Camden, pulling pints and playing a game of pool with her neighbours. Okay. So it is a beautiful thing. People in North still say that they feel the raw spark she had as a kid when you walk past the schools where she first found her voice. There's a playful energy in the air, like she's still cheering the next guitar. We've seen the roots of Amy's genius today, from the 10-year-old girl rapping in North London to the global icon holding 5 Grammy Awards. We've seen how her raw self-talent collabed with heavy machinery of the music industry. She was no longer a recording industry secret. She was the voice of generations, and she would never be forgotten. So this is part 1 of part 2. Part 2 is going to look into the lioness and how she became a business empire with the lioness industry. So with that being said, I am going to close down the reading. If you close your eyes or just, sit quietly, I thank the divine for all the messages and insight received today. I am truly grateful for this guidance for everyone who joined this reading. As I now close the sacred space, I send forth healing and blessings to you, to the world, and to all beings. May we all be blessed. And thank you for joining me on this lovely epic reading. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you did too. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Keep an eye out for part 2 coming later on in the year. Thank you very much.